Mattis just issued new confiscation order. Libs are shocked. Many years prior, there was an endeavor by a prisoner in the United States to gain by the killing he had conferred. David Berkowitz, the so-called son of Sam, a serial executioner who had been caught and arrested in New York in the 1970s, subsequent to having murdered 6 individuals and injuring a few others, was offered extensive sums of cash for his story by a huge number of movie studios and book publishers, with a specific end goal to guarantee that this man, who had made so much hopelessness such a large number of families, was not profiting fiscally from his violations. New York lawmakers made the Son of Sam law, despite the fact that it was at first observed by numerous as a First Amendment violation. The Supreme Court gave administrators a capacity to revamp the law to guarantee it didn't disregard said rights and fulfilled the first goal of the law. Throughout the years, the Son of Sam law has been invoked by prosecutors and victims' rights advocate groups, various circumstances, and stay unaltered. In any case, now a comparable circumstance has emerged. As of late, Secretary of Defense James Mad Dog Mattis was advised of a gigantic reserve of artwork that had been made by the Guantanamo Bay prisoners over numerous years. President Barack Hussein Obama had released huge numbers of those at the Cuba Detainment Center that he considered not hazardous, with an end goal to guarantee that this so-called art of murderers did not surface later and conceivably enable one of these prisoners to monetarily increase through this artwork. He requested the reallocation and annihilation of all manifestations. Presently, the New York Times is in meltdown. Via the Daily Caller, Professor Aaron Thompson argues the U.S. military's decision to begin confiscating and possibly destroying the artwork created by prisoners at the Guantanamo Bay detention camp mirror the tactics fit for terrorist regimes in a New York Times op-ed on Monday. Taking away ownership of their art is both incredibly petty and utterly cruel, Thompson, an assistant professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, wrote in the op-ed. Thompson also is a co-curator of the exhibit Ode to the Sea, Art from Guantanamo, which is a compilation of some of the art done by prisoners and currently includes work from suspected al-Qaeda combatant Moath al-Alwi. The military will not treat artwork by Guantanamo prisoners as property of the U.S. government rather than that of Cuba's incarcerated Picassos, according to a report from the Miami Herald. According to lawyers for the suspected terrorists, the military plans to burn their work. Making art is a profoundly human urge, Thompson writes. Viewing this art has allowed thousands of visitors at John Jay College and elsewhere a chance to see that its makers are human beings. These detainees have been treated in fundamentally dehumanizing ways, from torture to denial of fair trials, and their art reminds us that we cannot ignore their condition. The new policy means the artwork can no longer leave the confines of the military base, apparently leaving a dramatic hole in the cultural fabric of Manhattan, and destroying the cardboard-based artwork of Alwi. Thompson surmises could encourage the followers of terrorist groups to attack the West. Unless the military reverses its cruel new policy, he can no longer even launch his fragile creations into the world to be free in his place, he writes. So, by not allowing leftist professors to parade the work by suspected enemies of the United States around taxpayer-funded universities, The United States is apparently no better than the Islamic State, according to Thompson. There was a fascinating scene in the movie Escape from Alcatraz where the warden, splendidly played by on-screen character Patrick McGoohan, sees a portrait of himself that was painted by elderly inmate Chester. Doc Dalton, a scene at the point plays where a jail protect enters Doc's cell and starts appropriating the majority of his work of art supplies. At the point when Doc inquires as to why the guard essentially answers, "I don't know." Afterward, Doc winds up cleaving off 3 fingers with an axe in the wake of bringing a guard over to watch. The scene is great Hollywood, and you sort of feel the frustration about the old person. Be that as it may, I don't foresee anybody getting sad if a bundle of prisoners at Guantanamo winds up chopping off extremities in protest to Mattis's command, but maybe the libs in New York and California. What do you think about this? I agree with Mattis. Enough is enough. You never know what happens. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.